Good evening, Earth. How's everybody doing? Dean's already on board. What's up? Good evening, Dean. How you doing tonight, bro? Oh, there we go. Just trying to make sure everything in the background is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay. All right, friends. So now we're getting on board the spaceship. Shout outs to anybody that was joining us from last night. We got some new crew members. We got a new crew member. Shout outs to Triggered Liberal 26 joining the spaceship, becoming a new crew member. Somebody else stepping up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody for bringing all the energy last night too. So good. Taking a sip of my water. Feeling grateful that we have water. All right. So before we get into it, I just kind of want to talk about a couple of things, just about the gratitude that I'm holding. Let's go ahead and bring some things up here. Boom. All right, friends. All right. So let's go ahead and bring some things up. Before we end up getting into it, let me just go ahead and say a couple of affirmations to the planet. If you feel inclined to tuning in to them higher vibrations, just go ahead and repeat after me if you feel like you want to. If you don't, that's just fine too, baby. All right. So we're going to start off with a couple of affirmations, just because putting yourself in an affirmation mode really helps you to digest the information easily. Let it go through you without getting too attached, you know what I mean? So first of all, our first affirmation, if you feel like it, repeat after me. It's only going to help increase that vibration. Deep breath in. Deep breath out, my friends. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the mouth. Deep breath in. I'd like to say, I am extremely grateful to be alive at this time. I am extremely grateful to have the awareness that I have at this time. I feel extremely blessed to have the opportunity to share these messages with the world. I feel very blessed to have a body that can hold a vibration that I choose at this time. I choose to hold the vibration of love and balance and truth. I choose to always move forward in my life from a place of love, balance, and truth. I keep myself in harmony with the planet, as well as with all of the universe. I keep myself in balance at all times and try to maintain a harmonious perspective with all beings. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. All right, friends. So this is Sovereign Starseed. This is my spaceship. We blast off every night at 10 p.m. Mountain, 5 o'clock Universal. And I am super grateful for everybody that jumps aboard this every night. Let this be like a little place for us to hang out. Let this be a little place for us just to hang and just, take the edge off. It's kind of like a glass of wine. Let this place be a glass of wine to you all. So just appreciate everybody else for jumping aboard, man. Dean seems like if you're having problems rejoining, man, there's also other platforms too. So just letting you know. So hope the music's all good. Let me know if it's still too loud, too low. I appreciate the call outs last night, my friend. Okay, cool. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into some of the crypto news right now. So bringing some of that up. I got some good stuff here for us tonight. Oh, excuse me. Some good stuff for us tonight. And it is pretty pertinent. So let's take a look. Bringing it up on the spaceship dashboard. Wow. Okay, cool. Yes, the spaceship is getting online and it is working this time. Okay, cool. I like the spaceship music too, by the way. That's how it runs. It runs off of good music and good vibes. So make sure we continue to spread those. All right, friends. So first article is the BitcoinNews.com. They are bringing out an article that says Bank of England chief highlights fundamental problems with bank-issued cryptocurrencies. Mark Carney, governor of the Bank of England, has highlighted the fundamental problems with the idea of centrally issued cryptocurrencies. Carney poured cold water on the suggestion that central banks could adopt cryptocurrencies for consumer use, reflecting on what the bank views as a series of obstacles that would prevent digital currencies from being rolled out further on current models. Ugh. Stuttering all over the place tonight, y'all. Been meditating a lot too, though. So, chief among the concerns was the risks of financial stability, which Carney suggested would be too significant to make an economy-wide rollout feasible at this stage. He says, you create a situation where you can have an instantaneous run, so as soon as there were any concern, people can switch in their account at the Bank of England. There are many talents of the Bank of England, but I think credit allocation across the entire economy would not be a good idea, Carney said. So I'm just checking a couple of other levels here, guys. Making sure that everything else is running good. If you guys see anything that's up with the spaceship, call it out, please. Just checking a couple of things here because I just got to report on something. All right, cool. So yeah, the news comes at a time when central banks worldwide are forming their own approaches to the emerging risks and opportunities of digital currencies. Earlier in September, the Bank of International Settlements said that any decision on central banks issuing their own cryptocurrencies was still too premature, which I definitely think is true. So it says while the peer-to-peer functionality of the currency could serve as a good analog for cash in a cashless future world, the bank said it saw very little advantage beyond preserving the anonymity of cash transactions in the digital age. So, this is just something that says, another quote, at present, we don't view it as a financial stability issue. It's significant, but it's more like an equity type risk that's spread fairly widely around the world, he said. And honestly, that's a very good, that's a very accurate statement. I could agree with that. So, yeah, I could definitely see what he's talking about there. And so because of that, guys, it's just something to be aware of that, the Bank of England, there's other people in Bank of England that says that, just central banks trying to issue a digital currency it's like trying to run up an escalator that's going down. So, just think about that. It's just going to be like an uphill battle of a battle that was meant for the entities that we'd be speaking of, the central banks. It was a battle that was meant for them to not get into. It was actually just not even a battle. It was just a technology that was meant to allow us to evolve past the centralized regulation that we were forming. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting there. I like that article. Next, Cointelegraph has an article that is put out that says, oh, let me just go ahead and check something else here. I just got another report on something. Dang. Periscope is saying that my audio is out. So, you know, if you guys are feeling that my audio is out or something or needs to be changed, please let me know. But let me just go ahead and check a couple of other things because, like, I don't know why it's saying that. Boom, make sure everybody's connected. Make sure everybody's good. Okay, cool. Awesome. So, yeah, mining Bitcoin in the U.S., best do it in Louisiana, study says. So, this is pretty cool. It says, electrical supply company Crescent Electric, CESCO, study reveals that the state of Louisiana is the cheapest state in the U.S. to mine Bitcoin. The digital currency mining requires a lot of electric power, and the power rates differ in every state. Based on CESCO's latest study of the cost of cryptocurrency mining across the U.S., it is currently cheapest to mine Bitcoin in Louisiana. Electricity costs at 9.8 cents per watt puts the average cost of mining one Bitcoin at $3,224. And I'm not sure what they're using with that because that's definitely just a figure. Like, we don't have any idea of like how many hash power they are including in these calculations. But yeah, it's just something to think about there. So it says, where else in the U.S. is it cheap to mine? Let's see. Oh, sorry. So, you know, it says in their study, they also estimated the cost of Bitcoin mining based on the wattage consumption of the three most popular mining rigs, namely the Antminer S9, S7, and Avalon 6, as well as the average days each rig takes to mine a token. These figures were then multiplied by the average electricity rate in each state. Okay, that's fair. I can see that. So I can agree with that. So aside from Louisiana, the other top 5 states with the lowest cost to mine Bitcoin are Idaho, Washington, Tennessee, and Arkansas. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, Arkansas was actually the most expensive of the 5, which is of the 5 most efficient on the list at $3,505 to mine that in electricity costs in Arkansas. So the study also names the most expensive states for digital currency mining. The list of the costliest states is led by Hawaii, which takes an average mining cost of $9,483 per coin. So, do not be trying to be getting in there. Rounding out the top 5 states with the highest Bitcoin mining rates are Alaska, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire at $6,425. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if you want to end up Louisiana, cheapest to do it in. Trying to do it in a Hawaii, don't. It's gonna be crazy. Let's see where Colorado ranks. Colorado ranks at $4,139. Whew. See what I mean? So you guys, if you guys are interested, just go ahead and check the Instagram post, and there's a link to Genesis Mining. This is why you might want to invest in a mining rig in a mining facility in Iceland. So there you go. The cost to mine one Bitcoin, and I think that's a pretty cool infographic there. I love that. So right on, Cointelegraph, thank you for putting that article out. Next, Cointelegraph has another article that says the tax man cometh. U.S. Russian investors face new calls to pay. So I'm not quite sure like what's going on in the governments right now and how fast they were able to do this, but it says Bitcoin traders face new tax obligations in the U.S. and Russia as authorities keen to get a piece of the action begin tweaking laws. As Fortune and others report today, tweaking laws, like, I mean, what is that? So as Fortune and others report today, a tax reform amendment Congress passed this week will oblige crypto-to-crypto handlers to pay tax on any gains. The change in the status quo comes as a low-key change in legislation. Closes a loophole as a low-key change in legislation. Closes a loophole which previously allowed so-called like-kind exchanges to occur tax-free. Like-kind exchanges allowed one cryptocurrency to be exchanged for another without triggering a taxable event, as long as fiat was not involved. This allowed capital gains to continue growing tax-free. Now, however, that option will cease to exist in the US, applying only to real estate from 2018 onward. In Russia, meanwhile, cryptocurrency sales for fiat are attracting the attention of tax authorities, which now require taxpayers to come clean about any profits. As an anonymous holder told media outlet Business FM about manual declaration of crypto tax liabilities, I don't think it's the right approach. More likely, lawmakers should create a mechanism through which further transactions can be followed either automatically or via banks. So Artem Tolkachev, a lawyer who works on behalf of Deloitte, reiterated that the only possible way of taxing cryptocurrency transactions was to apply Russia's blanket 13% rate at the point of conversion to fiat. Fluctuating exchange rates and authorities' bare bones understanding of the technology added to the current stalemate in creating an alternative, he added. Okay, so you even have. So what is this? Okay, let's go ahead and just break this down real fast. So it's just basically saying, that like anybody that has been involved in this, like they're saying that you have to report all of your gains, you have to declare it, but even the attorneys that work for some of these people are saying that because people don't understand it, they don't know how to give you those types of alternatives that people are wanting, but regulators are just wanting you to report it anyways. Now, Sovereign Starseed, we'd like to remind the people of Earth and the humans of Earth that, it's definitely our choice to see what we're supposed to do with these types of things. I think it's not a bad idea to end up saying that via banks or something in the future could end up taking care of this, but I don't think it's wise to try to put clamps on it yet. And it just seems as though that the jealousy and the greed is getting into the species of the good regulators, so much so that they're wanting to end up clamping down on it without the proper understanding. So my friends, it's kind of like, what can I say? It's kind of like putting a car together without a windshield. It's kind of like trying to end up releasing a car to the market because you heard other people were releasing automobiles, and you tried to release a car to the market without a windshield. And you didn't quite understand what was going on with the car market yet. So you decided to end up like just releasing something without a shield, and you didn't realize that as people are driving down the road, they're going to get hit with things in the face if they don't have something clear to, obstructing all of the little particles and bugs and everything else hitting you. So I'm just trying to liken this to use analogies and metaphors for us, so that way we can see what this is doing. So this is where our species is the regulators of our species are trying to lurch forward and trying to jump on something really fast, just because they're starting to hear about it now, and they're starting to hear about people are making money off of it that they can't track and they can't trace and they can't tax and they can't regulate. And so because of that, it's something that I think some of those people are jumping too fast onto this without further comprehending the technology. In fact, here's something that I think would end up being something that's a little more healthy. What if we were to end up instituting something like a law that said, look, we're not allowed to approach regulations until we have had at least blockchain transactions for 24 months. So like if any of these regulators can show that they've had blockchain transactions going back 24 months, and that they're the ones that have submitted the KYC documents and all those types of things, those are the types of people that I really think might end up being the best fit to start approaching this and start saying like, okay, look, like there are ways that we could try to look at adopting cryptocurrency, but we still got to wait quite a while for us to regulate this type of thing. And I don't know if regulation is the right thing, because at this point in our species, in the progression of our planet, I think it might be time for us to just become sovereign and start to take responsibility for our actions, And I think that is the way that where we could start to look at all of these problems that are going on with the resources that we have, with the elements in the atmosphere, to the ways that we're running things. And I think that might be a way to end up really starting to embrace the decentralization of what this technology brings in order to learn from it what we really need to learn from it, and then we can end up moving past it once we've learned what decentralization really means to our species. But if we continue to allow regulators to make the rules for the rest of the people, then centralization is just right there with the regulators still. So that's just all that I'm trying to say. So, for that, going forward, Coindesk.com has an article that they're putting out that says Belarus government cuts taxes for crypto businesses. The government of Belarus has passed new statutes aimed in part at encouraging the development of companies around cryptocurrency and blockchain. According to the state-owned media agency Belta on December 22nd, which is today, Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko signed a digital economy development decree that legally enshrines the use of emerging technologies like blockchain, while also offering significant tax incentives in a bid to attract business activity. Ho ho ho. Now that, my friends, is a very smart move. Do you see how we can be using these things differently? Do you also see why I line these articles up this way? So check that out. We were just coming from how we're seeing a bunch of oppression happening within U.S. and Russia, about how people are now going to have to start to manually report all of these things, and there's no wiggle room. There's no talking about it. There's no benefits to anybody that's being talked about by either of the other two governments. However, Belarus here is looking like, hey, we just want people to come and do their business over here. We're going to do it. We want people to come so bad over here. We want them to come to our place, to Belarus, so bad that we're going to offer tax discounts. Now, that, my friends, back in 2010, that's what I was talking about. That's when I was like, when people were all like, so what do you mean? What is Bitcoin? And I was like, look, it's amazing. So, it's just when you're talking about those types of things, you can see that I was like, you guys, in order to adopt this, in order to get this to be adopted, try to end up offering a discount if people pay through Bitcoin. Now that will end up offering some speculation, some what is Bitcoin? How do I get it? How do I pay you? And sure, of course I want a discount. And that would end up allowing us to educate each other a lot faster. But I've been saying that for a while, and I love that the Belarus government is cutting taxes. And that's what I really hope that other governments follow suit, and U.S. and Russian governments start to, reverse their stance on it, if that is the stance that they're taking, just because, that's where it would be attractive to go. So next, Cointelegraph.com is putting out an article that says exclusive Telegram to release blockchain platform native cryptocurrency. So Telegram is the open source encrypted messaging app. It's going to open its own blockchain platform and cryptocurrency, announcing, according to sources familiar with the matter, the new platform will be dubbed either the Open Network or Telegram Open Network, TON, and it's supposed to be based on an improved version of blockchain technology. So Telegram is already immensely popular with the blockchain community. He says right now the entire blockchain and cryptocurrency community just switched to Telegram. There are a lot of Telegram rooms that I'm in, that a lot of other people are in, and that is true. Cointelegraph has reached out to the founder of Telegram, but has not yet received a reply. While still not officially confirmed, the creator of TON, Telegram network, is compatible with an earlier article for Bloomberg. So they'll start to monetize early next year, but only enough to fund the expansion. So I think this is pretty cool. So it boasts end-to-end encryption. Telegram is a cool app that I definitely use every day. And yeah, it's great because you can do a lot of things in it. It's fun. There are stickers that you can play with in there. But I think it's very awesome because it's open source as well. So you are able to see the see the code, and you're able to update it and do things to it as well, and create bots. You can do so many things with it. So yeah, with that, I've reported a little while ago about how they were going to allow you to exchange cryptocurrencies in the app, but this is the first time that I'm reporting on the fact that they're releasing their own cryptocurrency and their own blockchain. So that is fascinating, and I love seeing that. So right on to Telegram, y'all get a huge thumbs up from Sovereign Starseed. I'm loving that. So yeah, so another one about Belarus, Bitcoin News. It says that they legalized Bitcoin, ICOs, and smart contracts. And so, like, that was just another article that I wanted to bring up about how, like, the transparency from Belarus and the affirmative action, what you could call it, from Belarus is really, really happening in a very good way that is, I think, healthy, not only to itself as a country, but also to the species as well as to the planet, just because it's starting to open itself up. And this, my friends, is a good way of seeing countries start to allow themselves to give away their influence to people, to try to allow people to come there, to attract business to their country. So anyways, like, it's kind of like how we saw Charlie Lee, creator of Litecoin, give up all of his Litecoin just so that way he can make sure that he doesn't have any influence over the cryptocurrency itself. And I think that's an amazing and smart move to be making for a cryptocurrency that you created. He said he's going to be fine. He's not even worried about it, but he definitely does not want the value of Litecoin to be influenced by him because he was creating it, as well as by holding it, as well as by speaking about it on Twitter. And so that is awesome, and that is like a prime example of somebody that is trying to restore, the sovereignty to the people, because, like, he's trying to say, I don't want to have too much influence on this, and that's beautiful. And I want other, countries, governments, leaders to be trying to follow suit to that, much rather than, trying to lock anything down and trying to, like, stifle the innovation of what's going to happen here. Because I'll tell you this, countries and governments and everybody, the whole planet, is going to benefit massively by leaving something like this as open and as free as possible. Okay? So that's just really how to look at that. But that's just my opinion. You guys are free to have your own opinions. Look at this way you want to. I'm just an alien. I'm just a man. I have an opinion. I have the right to change it at any time too. That's what's beautiful about being human. So next in crypto and news, I just wanted to show you guys a couple of articles that are interesting for us to see. Hey, Ray, good evening. Go Belarus, boo tax man. I know, right? Yeah, it's so interesting to see how some people are taking, like, one way about this and other people are taking another way. So, hey, thank you so much for joining. Yes, I appreciate that. So, yeah, like, I mean, all I can say, man, is that, like, this, I'm super grateful for that. Are you back in Colorado? But yeah, my friends, like, we're definitely seeing some interesting things happening right now, but it's still beautiful to right now to end up being alive. That's why we supercharge. So Washington State, this is an article put out by Ars Technica about net neutrality. It says Washington State, Comcast was even more deceptive than we thought. So an attorney general of Washington State has filed a new amended complaint in an ongoing lawsuit against Comcast, claiming that new evidence reveals even more deceptive conduct than previously alleged. The lawsuit, which was initially submitted in August 2016, alleged that hundreds of thousands of Washington residents were deceived into paying at least $73 million in subscription fees over the last 5 years for a near worthless protection plan. According to the amended complaint, it was submitted to court on Thursday. Newly recorded phone calls between Comcast and its Washington customers who subscribe to its service subscribe to its service protection plan show that Comcast may have signed up more than half of all service protection plan subscribers without their consent. Comcast deceived consumers even when mentioning the service protection plan, telling them the service protection plan was free when they signed up, when in fact Comcast would automatically charge them every month after the first month. So, in a statement, Attorney General Bob Ferguson called this new evidence even more egregious than we first realized. The extent of their deception is shocking, and I will hold them accountable for their treatment of Washington consumers. So, I think that is very, very interesting to see. And so, yeah, like right now, what I could say is that this is the beginning of something that we're seeing where these companies have, they have done things that they knew the system would take way too long to catch up to, and they would try to end up using those funds to push their agenda even further. Let me show you. So, because of this happening, when they were using and charging people for something they said was free without their consent, that's stealing, that's thieves, that's a theft, that's what a thief does. So what happened is they were taking that money, and essentially now what they've been using is they've been using this money to lobby against net neutrality. And now they have paid Ajit Pai and the FCC so much of the money that they have stolen from their customers that they have now pushed this decision on net neutrality through, which is going to take years to undo, much like this decision right here that an attorney general is now having to file amended complaints for. Do you see the flaws in the systems, my friend? Do you see them, my friends? Family, humans of Earth. And I love you. I love all beings on this planet. And so I want y'all to see the flaws and the gaps in the systems, because now that net neutrality has been taken away, all that work that the Obama administration put in, now we're starting to see that Comcast, Facebook, AT&T, Verizon, all these other places are now going to reap massive benefits from. And by the time we are even able to reverse this decision, who knows if we're even able to search for it? Who knows if we're even able to find it, my friends? Because we're all going to be getting our information through these now too powerful ISPs. If we don't move over to alternatives such as decentralized webs and such as decentralized search engines and decentralized everything, that's what the cryptocurrencies can teach us. Is, you know what? Right here, hashtag unification through decentralization. Because when everybody unifies through decentralized, then maybe we can sovereignize. I don't think they say it all 70s like that. Hey, perfect, cool, Ray. I'm glad that you're back, bro. We'll have to come. We'll have to visit, bro. So, yep, I'm glad that you're here, and yes, everybody else, super grateful that you guys are on the ship. So, yes, just wanted to report on that, and I also wanted to say that Ars Technica also put out this article that said Comcast deleted net neutrality pledge the same day that the FCC announced their repeal. And so that's when I was reporting on this, where it was saying, that this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looked like after. And so because of that, I want you guys to see that, this is how companies change when the law allows them to change, and this is how that starts to creep in to a lot of those type of dystopian ways of living. And that's not something that I'm going to support. So I do want to support something like the decentralized web. I am open to something like a centralized web should these companies start to turn around and do different things, but it's I don't know, it's hard to say what we could see with that, because look at exactly how they've changed up their website already. So it's like they're making the same moves as other people that don't have humanity's highest intentions in place. So yeah, and then next, I just wanted to show you guys that after this Attorney General is filing this bill for all this money that was stolen from the customers. This is also what I wanted you to see, is that just an article that came out earlier this year on Reddit, and it was just saying that Comcast, Verizon, and AT&T have spent $572 million on lobbying the government to kill net neutrality. Now, you guys obviously can see where Comcast got that money. At least they got it from theft. They got it from stealing. They got it from taking things from people by offering them things that they never agreed to, and then they would sell it to them anyways, and then it wouldn't really even provide them a service. And it's because they're complacent and they have a monopoly. So, with this, I just want you guys to see that, like, this is pretty much the end of what I have to say for the news for tonight. But I want you guys to see that, like, we're still doing good things. Like, I'm gonna end up getting up on the Discord here, but if you guys want to end up getting on the Discord, go ahead and just go ahead and join through the join link on the profile. I'd be happy to talk. I love talking. But I just want you guys to see that with this information today, that we got to end up remaining strong. We got to know. So yeah, so let's see what Ray's talking about. Ray's talking about I look forward to visiting. There seems to be a lot of racketeering going on in big business, but they don't teach civics on what crime even is, because they seem to want to keep us in the dark. I'm glad the Attorney General is on it, but like you said, it could take years to correct, if ever. Right. So as you can see now, so that was like putting let's get to step C and step D. Step A was allowing this type of thing to happen, was allowing Comcast to do this for this long, and Comcast doing a criminal activity. And with a criminal activity, you're not going to be able to put a company into prison. You can only fine a company, because it's not a physical entity. And in fact, I want you guys to know that Comcast is that's its website right now. And I want you guys to know that here in Colorado, at least, Comcast has tried to do a good job of rebranding itself to Xfinity. And it's sad. It really makes you have to question, like, what is a company doing when they have to completely rebrand themselves like that? And I know that there are legitimate ways for companies rebranding themselves, but holy cow. Just think about that, my friends. I'm getting into the Stream Lounge now, so if anybody wants to hop on in, go ahead and hop into the Stream Lounge. Let's chat. Tell me if the audio gets all messed up as well, but yeah, exactly. And I look forward to visiting too, bro. But like think about that. Like, there's a lot of different things that are happening. There's a lot of control that's still trying to happen. There's things where clearly we're seeing that we can go ahead and have what we want to have, but whenever we're starting to flourish, there's going to end up trying to be a power that's going to show us that what we're doing is that we're on the right path, really. Because creating these cryptocurrencies is providing a beautiful opportunity for so many people, especially the second and third world countries. I love reporting on that. I love reporting on the fact and thinking about Venezuela every day, and about how now they've turned completely into cryptocurrencies. And what's so sad is that there are other countries right near them that have completely banned the cryptocurrency that Venezuela is using. So it's like, what would you do if you were traveling from China to Venezuela and back again? What do you do? What do you do? Let me just actually, you know what? That's perfect to tweet right now. That is like, think about that. So if you guys have any solutions, y'all tell me. But that's fascinating to think about. Think about that. So if I was to end up going to China, and I have my I'm sorry, I don't know what currency they use, but like, what I'm just trying to say is, like, if I went to China and I was using the currency that they have, and then I went over to Venezuela, I know that I wouldn't have any problems. Well, I wouldn't have too many problems trying to switch my Chinese currency into Bitcoin. I'm just saying this because I don't, I want to show respect, to China and its currency, all respect. But like, but what if, so it wouldn't be hard to sell that. But if I went back to China, coming from Venezuela, all I would have is Bitcoin. I wouldn't have any fiat. Whoa. So can you see, my friends, how beautiful it is to be alive right now, and how we are the ones that are going to be able to stand up for this. And we are the ones that are going to be able to help the planet restore itself by us restoring ourselves. And it happens, through like us loving ourselves and treating ourselves good, but freeing ourselves through our finances too. And that's a huge, huge linchpin in the mindset of our species. So I'm gonna put out there, what if I'm, check on the page too if you want to end up seeing these tweets on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. What if I'm traveling from China to Venezuela and back again, and I need to convert my currency? I'll just say, since China banned Bitcoin in Venezuela, is completely dependent on it. Yeah, and so also everybody, we're going to be getting back in a little while with some of the esoteric studies. I just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight as well. It's been so much fun, like having this opportunity to be with you. There we go. Takes a second for me to get a tweet out. But yeah, friends, just thank you to everybody that was joining in here tonight. Our homework tonight is just to go ahead and think about, like the different places in the world and like how they're all treating this and how they're treating it differently. Maybe even looking at some of the past streams that we've broadcasted and we've beamed down from the spaceship, about how Nobel Prize, I think it's very important for us to marinate on the fact that there's a Nobel Prize winner that has said that Bitcoin is too ambiguous to try to put into one category. And I am so aligned with what that Nobel Prize winner is saying, and I've been saying myself, you cannot put it in one category. To put it in any one category is to be arrogant and stupid of us. We will be just going way too far, way too fast, and we won't be able to actually reap the benefits of this beautiful technology. It will be something that will go over our heads if we don't treat it correct, my friends. That's all that I'm trying to say. And so I don't want that to be like that. But yeah, just because of this, we got to think about it. We got to think about where all this has come from, why this is here and why it's happening at this time and how different places on the planet are treating it and what some of the smartest minds are saying about it versus some of the other people. And whenever you hear somebody speak about not even just cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, just anything in general, try to think about their intentions. Try to think about what they have in the game. And that will really help us remain sovereign and allow us to move forward and be awakened. And so that way we can move forward as an awakened species and we can allow ourselves to restore our planet so that way we won't have to consent to such deception. And from that, I'm just going to go ahead and end there. But I just say that, gosh, I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to have this station. Thank you so much to my regulars for coming around, coming back. Appreciate you, Ray, for getting back on the spaceship. Appreciate everybody that watches these and watches the replays. It's so grateful for you. You guys are what helps me make this station. So we're going to keep moving forward with things. We are going to go to Acapulco. We're going to be streaming from there. It's going to be beautiful. Oh my goodness. Acapulco, Mexico.